Hey guys, this is Sohinki from Mahalo Games, and we're going to be taking a look at EA Sports Fight Night Champion. This is the 5th title in the Fight Night series, and by far the best. The boxing in this game offers players a gritty, fast-paced, fluid combat experience filled with bone-crunching sound design and realistic facial damage. Probably the most impressive part of Fight Night, though, aside from the gameplay, is the immersive champion mode, which offers the best single-player experience I've had in a sports game to date. Let's take a look.
EA has had 4 chances to get Fight Night right, and after working out the kinks in this edition, the boxing seems to be virtually flawless. The new full-spectrum punch control for the right analog stick works beautifully.
It's terrific, honestly.
Instead of having to complete complex patterns to throw punches, a simple flick of the stick in a certain direction controls which punch is thrown. This is a noteworthy improvement because in the past, people that used button controls over the analog stick had a sizable advantage. Now not only is it more fair, but arguably easier to use the full-spectrum punch control with the stick. Another notable improvement is the addition of the power modifier, allowing you to not only throw haymakers, but to put a little more pop in any of your punches. If there's one minor flaw with the gameplay, it's that the referee will sometimes get in the way of the camera, and for some reason remains at 100% opacity. While this isn't enough of a problem to hinder the gameplay, it is sometimes annoying, especially if you're losing a fight. With regards to the rest of the combat, the saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it goes a long way. The highlight of this edition of Fight Night is Champion Mode, which is a single-player experience you definitely won't want to miss out on. You follow the rise, fall, and retribution of Andre Bishop as he struggles to make his way toward a heavyweight title. The voice acting, for the most part, is absolutely amazing, and though the story is full of cliches, it still sucks you in and doesn't stop being enjoyable the whole way through.
This is boxing, after all. It doesn't matter that you got knocked down. You can get him back in the next round.
One thing that definitely helps this title be as visceral as it is the amazing graphics. The graphics for the gameplay in Fight Night Champion are what cutscenes look like in most other games. In addition, the realistic facial damage is absolutely brutal. Enough said. There are some minor graphical glitches every now and then during walkouts and knockdowns, but nothing that would mar the experience.
So what now?
With all the positives in mind, we now turn to the negatives, which can be summed up in 2 words: Legacy Mode. While there's nothing that particularly makes this mode bad, it simply seems like a lazy addition. The Create a Boxer option is always fun, and the facial mapping is actually decently accurate when you upload a photo to EA Sports World, but there are several key issues. First, we'll talk about the training games. All of your favorite and least favorite training games are back in this iteration of Fight Night. But instead of each of these exercises applying to specific skill sets, each training game just gives you general points to use to level your boxer up as you see fit. What this essentially means is, if you find one game that you can consistently get champion level in, there's no reason to play any of the other games. In addition, there's no story at all. You're simply a boxer trying to retire as the greatest of all time. Even the promotional events that you can choose to do lack any substance. There aren't even cutscenes, but instead simple blocks of text that congratulate you on boosting your popularity. Enthralling. In addition, the physics of knockdowns are a bit lazy, and the developers resorted to canned knockdown animations as opposed to realistic physics, which means your opponent often falls awkwardly against you, or in a way that does not seem natural for the punch that they were hit with. All that being said, though, the game is still the game, which means the boxing is still fun, and leveling up your character is really gratifying when you start getting those one-punch KOs.
Wow! Ruined in one instance. Just done. Fight over.
All in all, aside from the one slight blemish that is Legacy Mode, Fight Night Champion is a shining example of what boxing games should strive to be, and an even more impressive example of how single-player sports campaigns should be handled. I give Fight Night Champion a 4.5 out of 5.
My thoughts add up. I hope you bring change. I know these haters ain't want me to see my wings raised. Flowing shoes, polish it. Rappers, I demolish it. I done lost my mind in need of a psychologist. They could care less back when I was still in colleges. And now the boy be in London.